name is Eddie. I'm not just take it all. 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 Let's go. And I don't care what they say about me. Let's go. I care that he gets the glory. I'm not just take it all. I came so somebody could get healed. I'm not just take it all. At the end of the day, I'm about it for real. Let the wigs fall off. Let the shoes come off. Let's go. Because at the end of the day, I believe that I am called.
So Sarah Jakes, T.D. Jakes' daughter, is really popular and really well respected in different Christian circles. And she recently went viral, not necessarily for preaching the word of God, but for her wig falling off during a message. Now, she did end up responding to the event, and what ended up beginning as a rather embarrassing event actually turned into a larger discussion that I think is worth engaging in. Before I get my commentary, I'm going to play what it is she had to say in response to her wig falling off during her message, and then I will give my feedback.
In the moment, I'm like, I didn't have a choice. Like, I wasn't going to keep pulling on it over and over again. And I knew that what I was saying in the moment was more important. Like, it really did not matter to me. The idea that someone taking their wig off while preaching ended up becoming something that helped people was like not in my calculations at all.
I really feel like an idol was confronted. And I felt like an image, an idol, a stronghold. There was a showdown between you and an idol and a stronghold that holds so many people down, men and women. Idol was the idol of manufactured beauty. It was the idol, maybe two, I think it was two giants in the ring. Manufactured beauty, one. But then also the idol of perfectionism. Like, it has to be perfect in order for me to be presentable and accept. And what does that look like in people's lives? Like, it's an idol. It's an idol to feel like I'm not me if I have a malfunction, if I have a wardrobe malfunction or a hair malfunction or whatever.
Yeah, I think that there's a level of liberation that took place in that moment that I didn't anticipate.
So you heard what they had to say. Of course, she was initially embarrassed by the entire situation, but actually feels like it ended up sparking a much needed conversation. Her husband in the podcast mentioned manufactured beauty and that being an idol, and her literally being a representation of that idol needing to fall. And I could not agree more. I have talked about this so much, about how wigs and weaves have truly gone to another level. I don't think there's anything wrong with it from occasion to occasion, but it's at the point now where Black women are more known for their weaves and their wigs than they are their own hair. And I think many Black women in particular hide their real hair, hide their God-given crown behind wigs and weaves because they're embarrassed of their hair, because they're embarrassed of who they really are. There's a larger discussion and a larger theme behind this of self-love, of self-acceptance, of do you really believe that who God created you to be is enough and is valuable and is good enough? Or do you feel like you are only valuable, that you are only presentable when you have this fake plastic hair on your head? This clip that went viral really does open up a conversation about how women, Black women in particular, see themselves and value themselves and what they believe about their self-worth. And I think she alluded to what they both alluded to, it of this moment really being an opportunity for people to just stop and be like, wait, what am I believing about myself, or what do I think about myself? Do I really buy into this idea of I have to have this fabricated beauty, I have to have this wig and weave, I have to look this particular way in order to be presentable, or am I happy with what God made me to be? And while this was a rather short moment, I do think this is an opportunity for women, and especially Black women, to ask yourself these questions. What is your relationship with your hair? You may think it's not that big of a deal, but if what you're doing with your hair is coming from self-hate, if it is motivated from a sense of insecurity, if it is motivated from a sense of I'm not good enough unless I buy a weave, or unless I do whatever, unless I put on a pound of makeup, or unless I get butt pads or BBL, like if you are not happy with who God created you to be naturally, that is something to really ask yourself, and that's something to really lean into, because God didn't make any mistakes. And these little moments, these little viral moments, I think are opportunities for us to really sit back and ask ourselves these important questions, so we can be ensured that we are not settling for less, and that we are accepting who we are and not hiding behind some false idols or some false things that ultimately end up hiding the beauty that God put inside of us. So really, that is what stood out to me about this entire situation. I think God truly has a sense of humor, and it's crazy how he can take some of these silly, embarrassing, or comical moments, but really turn it into a larger discussion that allows us to be self-reflective. God made no mistakes. Who you were created to be, how you're created to be, was not a mistake. It was intentional, and there's something beautiful and unique that you have to offer. Your hair in particular is not a mistake. It is beautiful just as it is. I encourage you to figure out and learn how to wear what God made you. I encourage you to wear your crown, to not feel like you have to constantly hide it, and to know that what grows out of your hair naturally is the most beautiful thing that you could have for yourself. But those are my thoughts. What do you think? Do you agree or do you disagree? Also, be sure to check out my Patreon, where I upload new videos that are exclusive and will not be found anywhere else. You can do so for as little as $10 a month. Be sure to check me out there. Like, share, subscribe on the way out. And thank you so much for listening if we've gotten this far. And we'll talk later. Bye.